How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 11th of April 2021. I was going to do a video, a quite lengthy video, discussing some very important ideas, but I've opted to just do a quick rundown now because it's getting really late and I need to get up really early. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the usual, see what we could potentially expect this coming week. And then tomorrow, when I have a bit more time, I will do the other video, which I feel is really important, and I think it's going to open up a lot of eyes, and hopefully be received well, because I think it's needed. So I'll get to that tomorrow. So as always, these are my thoughts and opinions. I have to say this, guys, obviously for the sake of disclaimer, but these are my thoughts and opinions. Obviously, do your own research, make sure you have a plan, and stick to that plan. So with Bitcoin, not a lot's changed really. I mean, we had a nice run up, and then this Sunday quite a muted day, but it bodes well that it's holding up here, and it's quite interesting because Ether's running a little bit ahead of Bitcoin at the minute. But Bitcoin's still, relatively strong. I can't see it coming any lower. This was the primary liquidity pool. These here now, I mean, I'm going to take these off because these were something completely unrelated. This big one, I'm going to leave it because you see the fractal nature of price. You see prices come down into this primary liquidity pool, and then you've got another primary liquidity pool that prices come into. Beautiful reversal negation, pause, bang, take out liquidity. It's textbook, absolutely perfect. But the highs, I mean, I love the way that Bitcoin is grinding now, and just staying here. As I said, I would prefer it do this. This is what I actually want Bitcoin to do. I didn't want Bitcoin to run and go straight for the highs. The fact that it's grinding here, and dealing off whatever liquidity it needs to deal off, bodes very well for a continued run after the highs, which is what I want to see. I don't really want to effectively, I'll show you, sorry, I don't really want to see this pop above the highs and then a reversal and then price comes all the way down. I want to see this type of price action up here, to create a new range, new support, new liquidity pools, and so on. That's effectively what I want to see. But if price just ran and just kept running, we would have capitulated a little bit, and then we would have ended up coming all the way back down past the 60,000 mark. I don't really want to see that happen because it just takes longer for things to unfold. But if we create an upper range, within sort of 62 to 65,000, that's perfect. So we'll see how we fare. And then on the 4-hour chart, you can see, you can flesh it out a little bit more. This is the primary liquidity pool that I was discussing on the daily, and we've had a really nice move away from that. Beautiful pop, and this candle, as I'm sure you're starting to get used to this, or at least I hope you are anyway, this candle right here, okay, is the accumulation candle. So if I make a reference to this consolidation here, and it's actually it's the liquidity pool is a full range, okay, so I'll do it all. Price dipped into it around about sort of 40%. Beautiful move away from that, and now we're just kind of grinding here, which is very, very good. The longer it stays here around about, the 60,000 mark, the only two options left really in terms of flows and the bullishness of Bitcoin is for price to drop very quickly and create another one of these candles, snap back, and then off it goes, or just continue to grind higher, and then as it gets closer to the highs up here, it accelerates and pops through a little bit of relief, and then it just starts to grind and grind and grind. So all in all, very very nice price action on Bitcoin. Still bullish, heavily bullish actually, to be fair. And it's going to create, it's going to, we're going to need something pretty insane to have Bitcoin drop. I made a reference in the chat, Discord chat, that Bitcoin's not coming back down to 55,000, and I stand by what I said, and I'm very confident in that. Normally, when I'm super confident, and I absolutely believe that something's going to get traded too, I'll say you can quote me on that, just like I said with Swissborg. You can quote me, that price is going to be coming here, okay. Obviously I don't know when, but price is coming here, I can absolutely 100% guarantee that price is coming back to 125. Take out all of this liquidity. It's going to happen. So, you know, going back to Bitcoin for a second, you know, I say you can quote me. You can quote me on this. Price isn't coming back down to 55,000. Yeah, the only way it's coming back down to 55,000 with the current flows is if we get a black swan event or something ridiculous happens, something insane, and it drops like a tank. Yeah, it's not going there. Okay, so, and I'm very confident in that. So good on Bitcoin. Ether, if we go over to the daily, you'll see what I mean about it a little bit stronger. You can see that it's hovering above its highs, and it's doing it really nicely as well. We had a similar type of move. We had a nice drop here to take out the liquidity here and just pick up a little bit of liquidity here. We dropped down to the 4 hour, and I haven't looked at this, but I know excuse me, I know it will be there. But it's dropped into. Sometimes you have to see it. Yeah, you see liquidity. And you can do the same again here if you really want to, and then there's liquidity down here, but that's effectively what it's done. It dropped down into the 4 hour liquidity, and I'll take that off because I want to keep the charts pretty clean. And then we had a nice negation, not as full as the Bitcoin negation, but enough, and then a small pause, and then a little bit of a run to take out these highs. And the fact that it's doing it calmly, you know, quietly, nice and controlled, dealing off accumulation, a little bit of distribution, more accumulation, a little bit of distribution, more accumulation, is very healthy and bodes well for a continued grind to the upside, which is what I'm expecting on Ether. With Swissborg, obviously we've discussed this at great length, and we continue to discuss Swissborg because you know, we're all invested in this both emotionally and financially. Personally, I'm not emotionally invested in this, but I know a lot of people are, especially those who are new to investing, new to trading. But you know, monetarily, obviously, I'm invested in this, and the only real change per se, well, there isn't really a change. You know, all I will say is this, and I made a reference to this in the chat. I was saying that excuse me, if price starts to grind lower, the only other liquidity that's left, yeah, is the remaining liquidity around about the $1, and then after that, you know, it's down here. Oh, what are we doing here? Yeah, sorry, it's down here. Yeah, between 90, it's between 92 and 73. Yeah, that's where the liquidity is. So if we really start to push lower, it's going here. Yeah. But having said that, I have this is not one of those quote me moments. This is just one of those, you know, maybe that could potentially happen. Yeah, just a pop to the upside and just takes out all of this liquidity. But you know, again, this is more of a reference to Euro USD, as I said in the chat. I've seen this happen many times. The flows are, you know, healthy on CHSB, and I know a lot of people don't understand that. I know a lot of people believe that CHSB is going down, that the company is not releasing news quick enough, that's, you know, everything's wrong, and this and that and the other. And these are all valid points, you know, to the people that are saying them. I'm not disputing, agreeing or disagreeing, you know. But when you're thinking like that, you don't really see what's going on, you know, technically and through the flows of the chart. Yeah. So it's important that regardless of whether you're sitting on a loss or sitting on a profit, to detach yourself completely from the P&L and just say, look, you know, forget Swissborg for a second and forget the money that I've got invested, forget the profit that I'm up, or forget the, you know, the loss that I'm down. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I really want to know is what is going on with this chart right now. Fundamentally, forget the fundamentals, forget the macro picture, forget crypto space, forget all the YouTube videos and all these people. It's all irrelevant. Yeah, none of this stuff matters. The only thing that matters is what is the chart telling us. Yeah, and the chart is telling us right now that we've dipped into a primary liquidity pool. We had a nice run away from that. We've created a huge amount of liquidity above here, which price absolutely has to drive for. It has to. There's no question about this. It absolutely has to. And if you don't believe me, or you don't understand the mechanics of the way liquidity works, or why price needs to do the things that I'm saying, have a look at the commitment of traders report for gold. Yeah, if you get chance, go to the CFTC website and have a look at the commitment of traders report for gold. you just type in COT data for gold or commitment traders report for gold and try to get a feel for the numbers, the way that big institutions buy and sell gold and what's been happening with the price before it started to drop, yeah, from its all-time high, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's just one way of understanding liquidity and the way it moves around. But for now, we're dipped into a primary liquidity pool, which is very strong. Okay, we had a really nice response away from that. We've got a huge amount of liquidity build up here, which price, like I said, has to drive to, and then we're getting this pullback that's effectively dipped into a liquidity pool that is absorbed now. There's a little bit left in this liquidity pool on the daily, and then it's just slowly going into this, or yesterday's candle, Saturday's candle, that it dipped into ever so slightly. Okay, and then today it's just kind of bleeding into that area just here. And then when we drop down to the 4-hour chart, we see that again, you can see the liquidity much clearer now, and then we've got this kind of sideways action. So we may very well get a drop, a reversal, and an explosion to the upside, or we may just get an explosive move to the upside. Either way, the flows are to the upside. We may get downside, yes, but the flows, on a larger accumulation basis in terms of buy side liquidity is to the upside. And this is an absolute. There's no variable. There's no question about this. It is an absolute. I know a lot of people use indicators, and I'm not knocking indicators at all, but the indicators that you use aren't going to tell you about the liquidity flows, yeah, because they're lagging indicators. They always will be. In fact, there isn't. They're always going to be lagging indicators. There's a very, very potent signal, positive divergence or negative divergence, which you can find that on the RSI. You could specifically the MACD and stochastics, but you can do it on RSI as well, and that's very potent. If you understand how to use positive or negative divergence and the way it works, it's phenomenal. Yeah, but again, if you don't know how to use it, or even if you do, but you, the trader, can't control yourself and the emotions that you feel when you're buying and you're selling or you're investing or whatever the case may be, you're still going to mess it up. So ultimately, understanding the flow of liquidity, the order flow of liquidity on the chart, which is just a representation of the order flow, yeah, not the candles and the way that they're forming and the patterns and everything else. It's what the candles are doing and where they're driving to, and the response at every single level as it's moving around, yeah. And to give you an example of this, if you start with the weekly and you take one weekly candle and you break that weekly candle down into the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, the hourly chart, the 30-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, the 1-minute chart, and then the tick chart, you will see every single liquidity pool right down to the tick chart is traded to, yeah. It's an extremely exhausting exercise to do, but it's a very good way to get a feel for liquidity, the way that it moves around. And the best place to do this study is the Forex market. And I would suggest, if you're going to do this study, do it on a very liquid pair like Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie Dollar USD, or USD CAD, something like that. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's effectively Swissborg. We're unfortunately we're at the mercy of what's going on, in terms of on a daily basis. We kind of look at the chart and we're expecting to see something. But for me, I think if I wasn't doing these videos, obviously I wouldn't really be looking at Swissborg that much, or anything really. It would be more of a kind of once or twice a week. I'd just have a quick scan, see what's going on, but I wouldn't really be focused that much on these, because I don't trade Swissborg, I don't trade Bitcoin. I'm in both, so I'm just allowing things to just kind of unfold because I have that much larger, bigger picture view, and I'm invested in the company. I'm not invested in Swissborg itself, the actual token, if that kind of makes sense. So it's a waiting game, it's a patience game. Hoping to see some good news come out this week, in terms of the powwow, or anything that's announced by Swissborg. But I have a sneaky suspicion that we're very close to hearing something quite impactful, yeah. And again, just a feeling. I've not heard anything, but it's just a feeling. So we'll see how that pans out. Okay, so uni, again, upper side, lower side, until it clears one of these two. It's not really doing anything. If it does drop dramatically into this level down here, this is a great place to pick some up. But for now, it's effectively just a dead chart. It's going sideways. Binance really starting to push now. And again, as I said, there's not really a great deal I can do with this. I did make a reference down here to a level, and I believe that might be a 4-hour level actually. No, it's not. It is a daily level. But I'm going to take this off the chart because there's nothing really I can do with this other than just say it's great, it's going higher, fantastic, I'm not in it, moving on. You know, what would be nice is if it just rips and starts to capitulate, just based on the ranges and what I'm seeing here on the chart. 600 to 650 on a capitulation, if it happens. You know, and when I say capitulation, I'm talking about a parabolic move to the upside, almost vertical, as it really starts to accelerate, and then you just get that nasty drop. So I don't know, we'll see. PAX, nothing really much to talk about on PAX. A bit dead really, just kind of going nowhere. Ren, again, sideways. You know, I'm not changing my tune on this until we clear this high or this low. Then there's not really a great deal happening. And like I said, I don't think it's going low, but if it does pop and starts to go higher, this is a very interesting area that I would expect price to react at this level. Yeah, and that's why I'm leaving that on the chart. Kyber network. Kyber network, is this even in the app? Did I put this on because it's in the app? Sorry guys, I don't really look at everything on the app. Yeah, the Kyber network, exchange liquidity aggregator. I've not done this one before, so I'll go through this as well. I remember I added, you know, some other ones to the, and then we've got Compound as well, which I believe is there, yeah, and then Aave, you know, Ren, DR, Uniswap, and Binance. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so bit of a pop, reversal, a bit of profit taken up there, as you can see. Reversal. Yeah, I'm moving on. There's not really much to talk about there. Aave, interesting. This could go both ways. Liquidity build up on the downside, liquidity build up on the upside. The only thing I would say with this is this impulse move here, and then a move all the way back down to the original, you know, to the origin of that pop, and then this kind of move away and down and move away and down. Looks like it would want to go higher because the accumulation is from the buy side, not the sell side. So if it does pop, I would expect it to pop up, not down. Yeah, but that's the only thing I'm going to say about this one. Compound, not really much in the way of anything we can do with this. Oh my god, that's messy. It's messy. Yeah, I don't like that. Engine, as expected. I mean, I made a reference to this area down here, and you can see prices come all the way to it and responded nicely from there. There is a little bit more room for Engine to go below $3, but I believe, just based on what we're seeing, we're probably going to stabilize in this area. There is no liquidity until you get down to 212 down here. So if it does pop, it's not going to stay down much longer, and so it's probably going to go sideways for a little bit. I think Engine, which would be good for my own personal reasons. I want this to go sideways for a little while. And then the rest are irrelevant. So that's where we stand at the minute, guys. I will have another video for you tomorrow. I'm going to do a bit of a lengthy video tomorrow, so I'll try and get that done sometime in the early afternoon, sort of, well, late afternoon, early evening, once I've finished work. Is anything I'm missing? Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I'll try and get that done sort of late afternoon, early evening, and then we'll take it from there. And as always, guys, I hope everyone's had an awesome weekend. Keep your chins up, and I will catch up with you guys in the chat and in the video tomorrow. Take care.